Okay, so today we learned how to solve a radical equation for x. So this is not like inverses where you have to switch and solve for y. Now it's just one variable in the problem, solve for it. So we're trying to get x by itself. So the first thing we have to do here is we have to subtract 3. You get the square root of x is equal to 9. To undo a square root, you have to do the opposite, which is to square. And what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So your answer becomes 81. 9 squared is 81. On the next one, all you have to do is square both sides. Get 4x plus 2 equals 0. Take away 2. 4x equals negative 2. Divide by 4. And x equals negative 1/2. Next one, got to get rid of that 1/2, so you're going to multiply by 2 on both sides. Get the square root of 4x minus 8 equals 6. Now we can square both sides. Get 4x minus 8 equals 36. Remember that squaring the square root cancels out the square. We add 8. So 4x is equal to 44, and then we divide by 4. So x is equal to 11. All right, on the next one, if you want to, you can change this problem to actually say square root. Remember that to the half power is the same thing as taking the square root of the function. So I can actually write this as this 2 times the square root of x minus 3 equals 7. They mean the same thing. Actually, I'm going to put it up here. Okay, so either or, these two functions mean exactly the same thing. So first thing I have to do is divide by 2. So I'm going to take x minus 3 to the 1/2 equals basically 7/2, or 3.5. Okay. So now 1/2 is like saying the square root, so I would need to square both sides. Oops. We need to square both sides. So when I square a half, that's going to cancel it. So you're going to have x minus 3, and then I'm going to square this as well. So that becomes, use the calculator, 3.5 squared, 12.25. And then we add 3, and so our answer is 15.25. Okay. Okay, so in number 5, we have the cubed root of x. So cubed root is like saying to the 1/3 power. So if we have to get rid of a cubed root, we're going to cube it. So on both sides, we're going to raise to the 3rd power. So this is going to leave us with just x. That's the whole reason why we did it, to get rid of the little 3 on the inside of the radical. And then negative 3 times negative 3 is 9, times negative 3 is negative 27. Okay, same thing here. We're going to cube both sides. So we're going to get 2x plus 7 equals 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. Okay, remember cubing a cubed root cancels out the cubed root, and you have just what's underneath the radical left over. Now I can take away 7. Have 2x equals 118. Divide by 2. And x is equal to 59. Okay, on number 7, they're both square roots. So if I want to get rid of one, I can square both sides. And when I square the left, I get x plus 5. When I square the right, I get just 6. So these are the easy ones because everything, all the square roots cancel. And so you just have a basic equation to solve. So x is equal to 1. Over here, since it's cubing on both sides, or cubed root, I'm going to do the opposite, which is cubing. That's going to cancel that, and it's going to cancel that. You have 3x minus 6 equals negative 9. You add 6 to both sides, and you have 3x equals negative 3. And you divide by 3, and that x is equal to negative 1. All right, number 9. We have to square to get rid of the radical, which means we have to square on the left as well. Now, squaring a binomial, remember, I'm just going to kind of give you a clue. This is going to be x minus 10 times x minus 10. You should be able to do this, though, without doing the box. So it should become x squared minus 20x plus 100, negative 10 and negative 10 is negative 20, negative 10 times negative 10 is 100, equals, this square root's going to cancel, 9x. Okay? So now when you have a quadratic like this and you've got x on the other side, we've got an x on the left and an x on the right. We have to bring them together. So we're going to bring the 9x to the other side and set this equal to 0. And this takes us to solving a quadratic, which we have done in our quadratics unit prior to starting the square roots unit. So, takes us back, we got to solve by factoring. We're looking for two factors that add up to negative 29. Sorry, multiply to give us 100 and add up to negative 29. So, that would, I think, be 25 and 4. 25 times 4 is 100, and if they're both negative, that would be a positive 100. And then negative 25 and negative 4 is negative 29. So my two solutions are going to be x equals 25 and x equals positive 4. Back to when we did quadratics. All right, and the last one, square both sides. We get x squared equals 16x plus 225. Remember that that's going to cancel. So now, again, it's a quadratic. We've got the x on the left and the x on the right. We need to move everything over to the same side. So I'm going to subtract this to the other side and subtract that to the other side. So it's going to be x squared minus 16x minus 225 equals nothing because those will be gone. And then I want to factor, this is going to be tough, factor two factors of 225 that add up to negative 16. And so I would pick, let's see, 25 and 9. Yeah, 25 and 9. So a negative 25 and a positive 9. Negative 25 times positive 9 is negative 225, and negative 29, or 25 plus 9 is negative 16. So my two answers are going to be x equals 25 and x equals negative 9.